Now, in an escalating row between Belarus and Lithuania and the EU, Vilnius has accused Minsk of using migrants as a political weapon in retaliation for the sanctions imposed by the West. Lithuania claims Belarus, with the help of Russia and Iran, is facilitating the arrival of international migrants on its border and is now building a razor wire fence to prevent their entry. Here's David Campanale.
On the front line of the European Union's eastern borders, Lithuanian border guards are erecting razor wire. Their aim? To construct a 550-kilometre barrier along the whole frontier with Belarus. It's white specks like these that Lithuania is concerned about. They are Iraqi men illegally entering the EU. This month alone, the authorities recorded more than 1,000 such crossings. Lithuania believes that the Belarus state airline is flying migrants from Baghdad and Istanbul to Minsk with the promise of visas and coronavirus jabs. From there, they cross the Lithuanian border. On average, the country welcomes 70 migrants in a year. The government says the dramatic increase is no coincidence.
We know about new fleet that is intended to be operational on this route. We know about marketing campaign which is active. We know about reliefs of visas and encouragement of vaccine tourism to Belarus that seems pretty fake. And the potential of this increase is unfortunately very high.
Lithuania has declared a state of emergency, meaning they can lock up new arrivals. The new law also curbs right of appeal and will make deportations easier. To Lithuania and the European Union, this is all President Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus getting revenge for sanctions. We stop drugs and migrants. Now you will eat them and catch them yourselves, he said. For rights groups, Lithuania's new policy is a violation of the constitution. But for the Red Cross, the standoff will bring more suffering to the already vulnerable. David Campanale, BBC News.
Well, the Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis is in the Turkish capital Ankara, where he's been meeting his counterpart to discuss the issue. I asked him about the grounds and the proof they had that Belarus was behind this.
We have several proofs. First of all, we have documents about the companies that are involved in selling actual tickets to the people in Iraq and other countries for them to travel via Baghdad, via Istanbul, to Minsk, and then to Lithuanian border. And then when they cross the border illegally to Lithuania and to European Union, they have these documents on their hands. And these documents show that the companies behind them are actually government run. So that's one thing. Another thing, we have on video how Belarusian border guards are raking and hiding the footprints of the illegal migrants that after they just crossed the border, in order to hide the evidence that actually there was something happening. But we have this on tape.
Are these migrants, though, fleeing persecution or war and in need of genuine help?
Well, we assume that actually this is sold in several countries as one could call it even as a tourist trip. Because these tickets are sold by actual tourist companies. So they're selling an easy way, I would say even quite convenient way to get to European border and then even to cross it illegally, because all the example, I mean, the people are telling stories that they've been told where to cross, how to cross, what to tell to the authorities when they meet them in Lithuania. And this is all done by Lukashenko's people.
And you claim that Russia and Iran is involved in this as well. Are these migrants paying for this facility, or are these flights being laid on for free?
I'm sorry, I don't have information about Iran's involvement in this particularly. We know that people are coming from Iraq, actually, and then the biggest group is coming from Iraq. And yes, they are paying. The price that they are paying from our perspective, I mean, from the information that we have is quite different. It ranges from 1,500 up to 15,000 euros to get to Lithuanian border.
You have changed the law in the last few days in Lithuania to deal with this. So I think you've collapsed the asylum process, haven't you, just to 10 days now. Are you concerned about the welfare of these people? I mean, you're claiming that this is state intervention and these people are being used as a weapon. What about the welfare of the migrants themselves?
Well, first of all, we think that is not a regular refugee or migration crisis. This is actually a hybrid attack against one of the European and NATO countries, because Belarus doesn't have a border with Syria, Iraq, or Afghanistan. So that means that it has to be actively involved in persuading people to come to Belarus and then to lead them to European border. So I think that the biggest challenge now is for Lithuania and for European Union to disrupt the whole network that Belarus started building in order to intimidate Lithuania, intimidate European Union, and to change its policy.
I don't quite follow you. So if 50% of these migrants are from Iraq, where is Belarus actually finding them, locating them, gathering them up and flying them to your border?
Well, from the information that we have, we have to keep in mind that about 90% of people who cross the border illegally, they don't have documents. They are telling us that they were made to destroy their documents when landing in Minsk. That means that the only information that we have is from their words, from what they're telling. So we know that the biggest groups of people from Iraq are coming actually from the city of Erbil, from northern Iraq. That's mostly a Kurdish area. Belarus has some diplomatic presence there. And as far as we know, these are the people who are actually helping the whole process.